Today we're checking out the Engwe X26, a uniquely styled triple suspension e-bike. And it has a motor that peaks over 1200 watts. The wheels on this bike are so cool. They are solid alloy wheels, unlike the typical bicycle wheels that you'd get with a lot of little spokes. These things are solid, and just look at the styling on the bike. It's got this awesome futuristic gray paint job, almost like a stealth fighter jet. I love it. I think the styling on this bike is amazing. This bike has some downsides, which we will get into in the video. The styling on this bike is amazing, and yes, it comes with triple suspensions, which best believe we will put to the test. Check out how I ride this on a trail. Look at those suspensions go. Stay tuned and keep watching to see all of the quirks and features of this bike. Although the box did come with a little bit of damage, unboxing was fairly straightforward. Look at this wheel. Look how cool that is. These look like 160 millimeter rotors. Nice wide seat. Not very squishy though. This is a pretty hard seat. Hopefully we've got some of your own cushion, because this one doesn't have all that much. What is that? You excited for the e-bike? Oh. Alright guys, this is the first battery that sits in the seat post tube. I like that it's got a bunch of notches to kind of tell you exactly how high the seat post is. And here are the specs. 48 volts. This is the 921 watt hour one, and there's a second battery that's in this bike. Oh, that's heavy. This bike does come with a basic set of tools, some Allen wrenches and some other wrenches. I want to show you guys the other side of the box. There was some damage when I got it, so I think the front of the bike was over here, and back here where the front wheel was sticking out, the front wheel is obviously separate. Two giant huge holes right over here. Let's hope nothing is damaged, but again, I hope this is just because of the sample I got and not part of the customer experience. Nice Star Union headlight with a front reflector. Two rear lights, which both function as brake lights. Pretty cool. Nice semi-cushy seat, and of course a seat on the back rack, which does not come with any foot pegs. I don't know what they did there. This bike comes with an 8-speed gear system and a Shimano Altus derailleur, and of course it has the big, wide, knobby 4x26 inch tires. Well-Go pedals, and some Logan branded hydraulic disc brakes, 160 millimeter rotors in the front and in the rear. Nice faux leather locking handlebar grips, and an 8-speed trigger shifter. Pretty cool. Two giant rear springs in the back, black and orange colored, and they are adjustable at the top, although I couldn't find a tool in the box. Pretty decent amount of travel in the back, but the shock in the middle barely moves at all, and it's non-adjustable. However, in the front there is a huge double crown fork which has massive amounts of travel. This fork really is amazing. To switch batteries, you're going to have to unplug one, turn on the battery, and plug it in the back into the main battery using a spiral cord. Battery ports cover for waterproofing. Left-handed thumb throttle with a horn underneath. To fully unlock this bike and adjust other settings, you turn it on and hold the top and bottom buttons. From there, that gets you into the settings menu where you can adjust the top speed, adjust the brightness, and other settings that you might want to change. and this gives you the full power potential of this bike. This bike has 3 different modes: assist, normal, and sport mode, and to get into each one of those modes, you simply hold down the middle button and it switches between each mode. To conserve battery, normal mode peaks out at 500 watts and sport mode gives you the full 1200 watts. This bike is advertised as a foldable bike, however, because it's full size and 90 pounds, it is very cumbersome to fold and unfold, and that's what you have to do to get to the smaller secondary battery in the top tube. Let's test this bike on the roads. Normally, folding bikes are in the smaller form factor, and this is a full-size bike, which means you might think, okay, this is a portable full-size e-bike. It's folding, right? Not so fast. This bike is 90 pounds. It's a big boy, right? It's heavy. So it's got a lot of weight to it, but there's a reason why. A couple reasons why. This bike also has 2 batteries. It has a small battery in the front, kind of like in the top tube, and it has a huge battery in the down tube. Massive battery. And that's the main battery. And these batteries, they don't run in parallel. What you do is there's actually a cord, a spiral cord, that plugs into whichever battery you want to use. So you can think of it kind of like as a main battery and a backup battery, right? You've got your main battery in the down tube, and then you have your backup battery in the top tube where it folds up. So you could ride this bike with one or the other battery. Let's say one of the batteries is charging at home, the other battery can run the bike, and vice versa, right? Let's say one of your batteries is at home charging. You could use the other battery while it's full, then go back, get that second battery when that's charged, and use that. Or just put both batteries in, obviously, and you can switch. So when the first battery runs out, you unplug the cord from the main battery, plug it into the second one, and you are good to go. So you got dual batteries. It would be nice if they both ran together, but then you would need more electronics, maybe like a battery, some type of a battery blender, and that's just something else that could fail. So yeah, you have to do it manually, switch one battery to the other, but simplicity is beautiful, right? Less stuff to break. Something else that's pretty interesting about this bike is that it has not 1, not 2, but 3 suspensions.
1, 2, 3, spread out the cake.
Yeah, you heard that right. 3. How is that possible? Why do you even need 3 suspensions? Well, there's a massive front fork in the front. It's huge, right? So it's got a lot of travel, ton of travel in the front. Could absorb a ton of shock. And in the back, there are 2 massive springs near the wheel, and then another suspension in the center of the bike, which helps those other 2 springs. So this bike just has a ton of suspension. Now the back suspensions, they are a little bit stiffer. They're on the stiffer side. I wish they were a little bit softer, but overall, this bike has a lot of suspension. Pretty comfortable. If you're into off-roading, those shocks will definitely help you out. Something else that's kind of cool about this bike, and of course this is subjective, are the looks. This bike looks pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, it looks pretty awesome. I like the kind of like the stealthy look of it. It almost looks like a fighter jet, like a stealth fighter jet. Let's see how many watts this thing peaks at. This goes all the way up to 1200 watts, allegedly. We'll go up this hill. So we're at 1192, 1191. Yeah, somewhere around 1200 watts sounds about right. Decent hill climbing. You are gonna have to pedal on your own, but it will help you out quite a bit for climbing hills. The seating position of this bike is not your typical upright style. You are going to be more at a forward lean, like a classic bicycle, not like one of those upright bikes. And so it's not 100% built for comfort. I would say this bike, you know, it's built more for control, because when you've got that forward lean, you have a little bit more control on your handlebars. So I would say if you're into probably light off-roading, this bike might be a contender, especially with the triple suspensions. That slight forward lean kind of performance posture that you'll see in a lot of mountain bikes typically. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for some hill climbing tests. Probably one of the reasons why you guys watch these videos in the first place, because in my opinion, that's where these bikes and their drivetrain are really put to the test. Sport mode, and we're gonna start off at, there's this little line in the road. And again, guys, this is just throttle only. We'll see how this bike does. Go. Tell you guys the power draw, we're at 1,000 watts. Almost 1,100 watts, yeah, 1,100. See if it can make it. 1,100, 9 miles an hour, 8, 7, 6, 5. Nah, it's not gonna make it, guys. All right, this is a steep hill. It's very, very demanding. And if you hear that rattling, that is actually the top 2 battery rattling around inside. I did see someone else put some felt tape on that battery, and it seemed to help a little bit in terms of getting rid of that rattle. So in case you guys want this bike, you will probably have to do that. And I got a GoPro mounted on the back suspension, give you guys an idea of how much that suspension travels. It doesn't really move all that much, it's pretty stiff, and I actually loosened it up as much as possible. And it still doesn't move all that much. I feel the suspension working. I feel like it's softer than a hardtail, but not by all that much. This bike has 3 modes that you can cycle through: sport, assist, and normal. So all you do is hold down the center button. Now we're at assist, and it gives me a certain pedal assistance. So assist, let's try the different levels. Assist level 1 gives me barely anything, like 34 watts of power. Assist level 2, we're going up a hill, guys. 300 watts of power, going about 10 miles an hour. Assist level 3, 700 watts of power. Let's go to a flat area. The throttle does not work when you're in pedal assist mode. Assist level 3, yeah, 15 miles an hour, about 300 watts, something like that. Yeah, now we're going downhill. Assist level 4. Assist level 4 will get you, looks like about 22, 25. All right. And then obviously assist level 5 will give you everything. And you can go pretty fast on this thing. I've taken this about 35 miles an hour before. And right now we're going 35. I'm getting a good amount of resistance. My cadence isn't all that fast. So you guys can go pretty quick on this bike. Here's a little more hill climbing. Let's go on assist level 5 up this hill. This is a fairly steep hill. My neighborhood's pretty hilly. So I gotta go all the way down to gear 1. All right. And I gotta say, assist level 5 is not helping me all that much. about 700 watts. My legs are working for sure. I probably wouldn't keep it in assist. I would keep it in the next mode, or the next one after that, which is sport, where it doesn't give you any assistance through the pedals, but you get throttle. You get all the power all at once. Yeah, let me try a thumb throttle 50%. Yeah, I don't think there's no gradation when it comes to how much power you get It's all or nothing. And it's definitely easier with sport mode. It's finally giving me all the power, all 1200 watts. And now I can confidently climb this hill. So if you got a hilly area, you'll have to keep this thing in sport mode to really help you out up the hills. If you keep it in assist, just expect to get a lot of exercise, which is fine if that's what you want. It's up to you. And then normal mode, I don't feel any pedal assist at all. It just gives you some power in the throttle. Looks like it just peaks at 500 watts. So if you just want to cruise around at 500 watts and conserve battery life, which is fine. If you want maximum range from this, you'll be in normal mode, just conserving your battery. See nothing wrong with that. I like having the options. I like that it limits you in certain ways. That way you can calibrate this and ride this bike exactly how you want. If you live in a flat area, that mode would be great. You can go a long way. Now let's try a hill climb in sport mode. This is pretty steep. So again, lowest gear. Sport mode is where you want to be for the hill climbing. Fairly steep hill. I'm still pedaling decently hard, but it's helping me more than before. Let's get you guys that top speed test that you want. Close my visor. I'm gonna pedal hard. This area is pretty flat. Eight gears. Hear that battery rattling around? All right, pedal as hard as I can. This is a flat part. 32, 33. Hard pedaling, come on. 33, all right. 33 is pretty good for a 48 volt system while pedaling hard. Let's go back down. Well, not back down, back over. With throttle only. See where the top speed is. All right, 25. Battery's at 92%, it says. 26. 27. And now we're going downhill. Power cut me off after a certain amount. So I'm getting no power after, I'm guessing, 28 miles an hour. Yeah, even in pedaling, I got 0 watts coming through. So it looks like there's a cutoff point after 28 or so miles an hour. That's interesting. Yeah, I'm at 30 and it's giving me only 800 watts. 34, yeah, so the wattage really drops down after 30 miles an hour. And then it's on you to pedal hard as you can. I feel the suspension kind of working against me as I'm pedaling hard. And unfortunately, you cannot lock out the front shock. Or you can't easily just lock out all the shocks quickly to take advantage of your leg power, because if you guys know, for hill climbing, you actually want no suspension, because otherwise some of your power leaks into the shocks and you're using some of your pedaling power to just compress and decompress the shocks instead of transferring it into the pedals. And unfortunately, you cannot lock the shocks out on this bike, but the front shocks are great. They do travel quite a bit, which is nice. Which is great for curbs and whatnot, big bumps, big potholes. So right now, again, I'm in sport mode, easily climbing up this hill. Mild pedaling power. The forward position seating isn't my favorite. I'm used to the upright kind of city commuter style position, but this isn't too bad. You're not too terribly hunched over, so it's all right. So I'm pedaling hard right now, and you could easily get 30 with this bike. You could easily get 30 with this bike. I close my visor to see if that makes a difference with the wind. So if you guys are comfortable with a speed of top speed of 28 to 30 miles an hour, this bike would be a contender. And it does have a lot of suspension, which is kind of nice. Gear shifting feels nice, although I think the derailleur needs a little bit of adjusting, because when I'm on the top gear trying to go full blast, I did feel the gear slipping a little bit when you're pressing really hard. I think that just needs a little bit of adjusting. More hill climb. I'm telling you guys, my area is very hilly. Sweating. Open my visor back up. It's the downside of having a motorcycle helmet. It does get a little bit hotter than other helmets. This is really testing this bike, putting it through its paces for hill climbing. All right, I think we're past the worst of it. So far, I'm enjoying this bike. It's pretty comfortable. The triple suspension definitely helps with comfort. The seat is okay. Not as comfortable as something like a Cloud 9, but it's manageable, especially, like I said, with the suspension. That helps reduce some of the shock that your butt would normally feel. And I set up a GoPro near the suspension. Hopefully you guys can see how it works, how much it travels. We're gonna be doing a little off-road section in a little bit, and you guys can really see how that works. So this is a gravel section. It's not the off-road section that I mentioned. This is just the road that kind of connects through, but still, good way to test out this bike. Get these tires broken in. These are basic Chow Yang 26x4s, and the max PSI that it says on the side to put in is 20, so we put in 20. Normally I like it a little bit more firm. Some other bikes allow you to put in up to 30. I like as little rolling resistance as possible, but that's just me. You guys can do whatever you want. I really hear that battery rattling around. You guys probably hear it also. I would definitely recommend the felt tape mod. I don't think it's a big deal. If you really like what this bike looks like and what it has, putting some felt tape on a battery to tighten it up is not a big deal at all in my book, although it would be nice if they did fix that, obviously, from the factory. It's always good if things are perfect from a factory. Alright, we're going to try and go as fast as possible on this road, because this is not the safest road for me to be on. As you can tell, there is no shoulder, pretty much. And people fly down this road at like 50, 60. But we're getting to that off-road section that I mentioned. Doing this for you guys. Risking my safety. No, I'm just kidding. It's not too big of a risk, but you never know. I would always recommend adding a rear view mirror and even a Garmin radar to your bike. Highly recommend it. I don't have it on this bike, but I have it on my other one. What it does is it shows you who's behind you and when to look in the mirror. I really think a mirror is probably the most important safety device besides a helmet. But sometimes you don't know when to look in that mirror, and the radar will tell you exactly when. I will leave some links in the description for you guys with those items, in case you're curious. So now it's time for the off-road part. Put these suspensions to the test. Main battery's at 66%. Maybe halfway through I'll switch to the other one. See how it goes. We'll stay on sport mode the entire time. That way I can get as much power as possible whenever I need to. Hopefully this trail is in good condition. We recently just got a ton of rain, and I don't know if it flooded out parts of this trail or not. We'll find out together. I've done this loop many times on foot and on my bike. See how it goes. Feel those splashes on me. This bike does not have any fenders, so whatever you run over that's wet will be on you if you run over enough of it. So far so good. This bike is good. I'm feeling a little bit of tension in my wrist from the forward position, the classic kind of mountain bike position that this bike gives you. Again, like I said, it's not an upright position where your butt takes up most of the pressure, which might even be one of the reasons why my butt actually feels okay with this stock seat, because some of the weight is going into my arms. I really feel that, hear that battery going off, rattling around in there. Again, guys, that's an easy fix. We're out here to test the suspension. Oh, those front shocks feel really good. So much travel in the front. Uphill, let's go, baby. You really do feel the shocks a lot more in situations like this. If you guys are looking to do light off-roading, I would recommend this bike. Pretty comfortable. And you have that classic mountain bike posture, which gives you extra control over your handlebars. All right, this hill is a... There we go. How's it going? Oh, this got really eroded a lot. Steep hill climb, guys. Oh my God. We're going like 10 miles an hour. Come on, Engwe. It's giving out. Come on, I'm pedaling hard. Come on, baby. It's giving me like 900 watts. All right, we made it past the hardest part. I need some momentum for this part. Oh my God. Oh. So many bumps. All right, main battery is showing 58%. A little bit of gear slippage. Need some derailleur definitely needs some adjusting for sure. Here's the downhill part. Got to be careful here. Front brakes work. Front brakes work great. I'm going about like, I don't know, 15 to 20 miles an hour. All right, another uphill part. I gun it up here.
Yeah, this bike is not the greatest for hills, in my opinion. At least not for this kind of stuff. You're gonna use your bike how you want to. For stuff like this, you wanna, if you're going lower power than this, definitely mid-drive. Or you just want more power. 52 volts minimum, in my opinion. The battery is at 56%. Let's head back. I'm impressed, even at 42 miles an hour. Still plenty of sensation in the pedaling. I'd say the gearing's pretty good on this bike. Oh, getting a workout. I feel the bike jumping up and down every time I pedal. That's not good. That means energy is being directed. My pedaling energy is being directed into suspension and not entirely into propelling the bike forwards. That's the downside about full suspension. So even with about a 50% battery, still able to get a comfortable 28, 30 miles an hour.
And that, guys, concludes the review of the Engwe X26. I am really curious as to what you guys think of this e-bike. I have mixed feelings on it. It is big and heavy. It does have triple suspension. However, the middle shock is kind of stiff. It doesn't really do all that much, but I do love the styling of this bike. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Until next time, peace out.